Hi everyone, this is Freddie with Superbike Unlimited, and today we are going to embark on a new Superbike project. I'm really excited because it's been a long time since we've started a new one, or at least it feels like it. I guess it really hasn't been that long, but we're kind of returning to some of our roots, and I'm sure some of you guys that have been with us for a long time are going to know what that means, and it's gonna be exciting. We love this platform. We've spent a lot of time on it back in the day, and our kind of abilities here at the shop have advanced quite a bit since the last time we've really dove into one for the shop itself. So it's gonna be cool to see where we take this thing. And right now we hear a semi truck outside backing up to deliver this thing. Okay, so we've just had our delivery from Santa Claus, aka the semi truck guy, and without further ado, what we're going to be doing is a brand new Yamaha YZF-R1. And as many of you guys who have been with us for, you know, the more than 5-6 years, you know that this used to be our bread and butter. We used to just really be kind of like a Yamaha shop, and for good reason. They make a great motorcycle. It's you know, in my opinion, this is still one of the most accessible packages in the world. The bike, they just work well. And we're really excited to kind of apply our current know-how and not to mention the current availability of components and parts to the most current iteration of this bike. We haven't really gotten into a brand new R1 other than in super stock form and sort of some customer Superbike-ish projects. So it's going to be really exciting to actually build a proper, real Superbike 2020 plus R1. So we're going to go ahead and get in this thing, and we'll do an unboxing, if you will, and see what we've got. And as you can see, there's really not a lot of assembly that's going to be required. Tex was kind of just marveling over that because he's done plenty of dealership work over the years, and I guess normally do they just have a lot more?
Sometimes they don't have the front wheel on, sometimes they don't have the clip-ons in place, sometimes there's a lot of assembly required. This is very little compared to some.
Nice. And there's a nice little, I think this is new. I don't recall seeing that sort of turquoise accent on the R1 logo. I think it looks really nice. It almost looks like the light's catching it. It's really a nice touch.
Oh, that goes in the fairing. Okay.
Won't be needing that.
Is that it?
And some net and a piece. You put a hand on this. look up the torque spec for this. Yeah, we don't have it overhead. We'll torque that later. Well, we'll torque it for now, but that's the thing is it's not going to stay on here. Yeah, that's true. It'll be on here for some dyno tools. Yeah.
All right, folks, that is a brand new Yamaha YZF-R1 fresh out of the crate. Really doesn't get any newer than that. Well, I guess if you're in Iwata or wherever they make these things in Japan. But as far as US soil, this is about as fresh as it gets. And for us, this is really exciting because, like I said, I really haven't gotten to really dive into one of these with techs, and I can just see some small updates that I've never really noticed. This bodywork here is totally different from the last one we really owned as a shop bike. There wasn't this sort of black shroud there that was separate from the regular tank cover. And just the lines of the bike look a lot more aggressive. I'm a big fan of the way the thing looks. So next, we're going to go ahead and do the SBU usual treatment, and we're going to start. We'll get it together. We'll do some break-in time on the dyno. Of course, we'll baseline this thing, see what it does. And then begins the process of fully transforming this motorcycle into something worthy of a Moto America Superbike grid. So it's going to be quite the process. There's a lot of stuff we're still waiting on, but it's going to be a fun project, and we hope that you'll join us for it. All right, so Tex has rolled this Yamaha over to one of the stands, and we're basically going to go ahead and get this thing ready to run. So what's left, Tex?
Basically, we got to hook the battery up. We got to put some fuel in it. We got to check all the fluids, and then it's time to fire up. Pre-filled battery.
YTZ7.
Yeah, tiny.
That's a little guy.
Positive terminal first, always.
All right, we got some fuel in the tank.
Check the oil. Good there. Check the coolant. There, good there. All right.
We'll start our first heat cycle, and then we'll begin the break-in process. All right, so we've gotten our break-in done on this thing. I didn't record that because it's not very exciting and it's a bit time-consuming, but we've completed that, and the guy across the way is going to be obnoxious with like a side grinder or something. He's probably cutting a catalytic converter off of somebody's car. But the Anyway, we've gotten all the break-in done, which is just a process that we do on the dyno that we pretty much do on everything that we build or buy. And what we're going to do now is basically just some baseline dyno pulls. So we'll see what it does in 100% stock trim, essentially as it showed up. Alrighty, so you've seen the first couple of dyno pulls. It's really quiet and not super exciting as one might expect. So let's go over here and have a look at what sort of numbers we're making. To be honest with you, I don't really remember the last time we've done a stock one of these. I think it's been 2020 when they first came out. Most people that bring them in, it's got a kit ECU or something on it, and we're just doing that. Or we've had a few guys that just do the power commander thing. And they're actually something a lot of people ask about. There is a way to flash these. We are doing it, and we're going to do it on this one. It's not something we're really advertising a lot of because the flash isn't as comprehensive as we would like. There are still certain parts of this ECU that are essentially hidden or decrypted, which means it's not like some of the other stuff where we can literally change every parameter on the ECU. That's not the case with this. We can flash it, makes big gains, but it's not like, say, a 15 to 19 R1 where we've got something that's just flawless. But anyway, moving on. So without further ado, this is what our bike is making exactly the way it sits on the dyno. So right at 174 horsepower, 78.5 torque. Fueling is pretty good, actually. I mean, we've seen this a lot with recent OEs. It's not, you know, perfect by any stretch, but we're seeing a lot of them are nowhere near as lean as they once were. Part throttle, there is still a bit of that, but it's, you know, that's reasonable. Here it's pretty rich, actually, and up here we would probably want to add a bit of fuel to try to bring that down. But overall, a decent fuel map from the factory. Obviously, it's heavily restricted. We can see up here, that's ETV stuff, so that's basically electronic throttle valve. It's not opening all the way, so naturally for us, we're going to do this in stages. It's going to be a process, kind of like some of the other stuff we've done in the past, where we're not going to do everything at once. In fact, we don't even have the majority of the parts that we need for this thing yet. We just got it in. Everything is late right now for those of you who are buying parts from us or from whoever else you might buy parts from. This is a bad time because everything's back ordered and delayed. So there's a bunch of stuff that we're still waiting on. We've got some good things coming in. This is going to be a nice project, but we're going to do the tuning in a couple of stages. We're going to flash the ECU, show you how that works and what kind of gains to expect there. We're going to do some other tuning solutions, and then we're going to go to a final tuning solution. I'm not going to say what any of that stuff is because you're just going to have to tune in and see, but it's all going to be good, and it'll be really cool to see what kind of progress or changes we see from each step. And there's going to be some comprehensive upgrades and search for power on this thing. So it'll be cool to see what we can really squeeze. It's been a long time since we did a really full spec, like to the gills Superbike R1. We've never done one on this chassis. And I'm excited to see what kind of power we can make with this thing. It'll be a lot of fun. We're not going to basically cut any corners. We're going to go full stop on it. So it should be a good project. And I think that's going to do it for this one. We've covered the base. We see what this thing's like. Haven't weighed it yet. We'll do that in the next video, but at least you guys know what we're working on now and what's to come. So we really appreciate you watching. Make sure you like this video, comment below if there's anything you want us to cover. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.